Hello guys and welcome back to Sonic Labs, and in this video we are going to have a look at the FabFilter Pro L2, which is the limiter plugin by FabFilter, and this video is going to be part 2 of our FabFilter series. So you can check out part 1, which is about the FabFilter Pro Q3. I'll leave a link in the description for that video, and let us begin. So first of all, let us open up the plugin, and this is how the plugin looks. It is pretty simple. It looks pretty simple. Let us go through the interface of this plugin. So first of all, we have the help tab on the top right corner. Next to help, we have the lock output option, which is activated by default. So what exactly this will do is this plugin offers a few output options which you can activate or deactivate like this, or there is this output level knob. So since we are also messing around with different settings other than the output settings, what this will do is it will lock your output settings regardless of whatever settings you place here, which means you can change your presets through here, the preset browser, and the output settings will be preserved. They won't be changed. They will be as it is if you activate this tab. Next to that, as I said, we have the preset browser. So there are many presets here. I suggest you can go through some of them and try to understand how the plugin works. Next to that, we have the A/B section, which helps you to compare two different settings. So right now we are at the part A of this plugin, and if I make some changes, I'll do some changes and will off this to just not preserve the output options, and let us go to part B. And as you can see, everything went back to default because part B was set on default. We didn't make any changes. And if we press again, we'll go to part A, and as you can see, there are our previous settings that we did. So that's how you can compare two different settings by switching between mode A and B. Next to that, you have the undo and the redo option. So this helps you recover any mistakes that you have done 2-3 steps before. Like I just made some tweaks, some changes within the output, and then I went on to change the gain, and now I want to undo the changes within the output. So I can simply use the undo knob, and if I think I don't want those changes again, I can just redo them and we are back on what we were doing. Next, we have the resizability with this plugin, and you can do it in two ways. You can simply just go to the bottom right section where you have this little triangle, and you can resize it like this anyhow you want. Other way is to just click on this little tab, and you have these 4 options. So you have custom size, which you can set directly like this. Next, you have compact. So in compact, you don't have the display. Next, we have small. It will come with the display, and this is the smallest size you can get with the display. Medium and large is the largest you can get within the DAW. Now let us go through some of the basic features with this plugin. So first of all, we have the gain. So it is simply the input gain that we feed within the plugin for getting limited. So I have a little loop going on here. So what exactly a limiter will do is it will take down any of the signal which is going beyond 0 decibels, and will limit the signal, and it will avoid it from clipping. So right now our signal is not going beyond 0 decibels, so we can just push it to like hit that mark. So that way you can determine the amount of signal you want to feed within this plugin, and that will in turn determine the output of your sound and the amount of limiting taking place on it. Next, we have the true peak limiting option. Although we have the output level knob here, we can determine what amount of output we want from this plugin to go. It is possible that your signal might clip even after you have done the limiting. So this true peak limiting option avoids all of that. It will make sure that even after your output is on any set value, it will make sure that your signal doesn't clip. So that's how true peak limiting works. Next, we have the oversampling. So it avoids any sort of aliasing or distortion caused by the plugin in terms of quality. So there are these, like you can go up to 32 times, which is extremely CPU intensive, and I don't think it will make that much of a difference. I suggest going up to 4x because this is the sweet spot. It is not too much and not too less. Next, you have the dither option. What basically dither helps you to do is when you are changing your bit rates, the bit rates at which you are exporting your samples. If you are changing that from the original sample, then you can just on the dither and set the bit rate to the particular audio's bit rate. So right now I'll just keep it off because in the export setting the bit rate is same as the bit rate of my audio. So that's why we keep it off. Now let us go through some of the advanced features which are really interesting about this plugin and which make it versatile and different from other limiters. So here you'll see a small advanced tab. So if you press on it, you'll see this little section popping out. So the very first thing we see here on the left side is the style, the limiting style. So there are these different styles. So yeah, you can just go through each one of them and see which one works for you. Next, you can have your look ahead set to a particular value. It goes from 0 milliseconds to 5 milliseconds. So what look ahead does is it feeds a signal into the plugin before even it is played by your DAW, which means the plugin already knows what sound is going to come into it. So that delay of inputting the early sound can be set by the look ahead. So if you keep a high look ahead, the signal will be received late, and if you keep it on 0, you will have the highest look ahead the plugin can possibly get. Next, we have the attack and the release, and it's simply the amount of time it takes for the plugin to get activated and be activated. So you can just set these times. You have from 0 seconds to 10 seconds. That's the range for the attack and the release. At the end, there is channel linking. So this is related to stem mixing and mastering, which means if you have some sidechain option enabled with this plugin, like you have used Pro L2 on any of your channels for sidechaining, if you link it to this plugin, then while exporting, it will be exported with the sidechain triggered. So you can simply just link them to get your signal with the sidechain. Next, we have the metering options. So you have this little tab here, the small -48, which is by default. So these are the decibel metering systems. So you can just go from a range of -48 to -16. So now the range is -16 and here it's -48, and you have the K metering system, and at the end you have the loudness system. There are separate particular plugins for seeing the loudness in LUFS, but many people don't know this feature about Pro L2, that we have an LUFS meter within this plugin. So it will show you the exact LUFS value, and you can change between these three modes, which is momentary, short term and integrated. So integrated can be used when you are trying to find out the overall loudness of your track. Short term will be like the loudness at small intervals, like it will change very frequently, as you can see. And momentary will have bigger intervals than short term. So that's how you can use the LUFS metering system in this plugin. Next, we have the display settings. So in this little tab, we have these 5 options. So I'll switch between each one of them so you can see how they work. Let's go with the first one, the second one, the third one, and at last we have the fourth one. Now the fourth one what it will do is it will capture all the signals from the very beginning till the end. Like from the very beginning you open up the plugin, it will keep adding the signal, so you can see it's still just going on. There's no sound coming in, but it's still going on, and at last you can just off the display. So usually it is like simple to use the first option. And at last we have the true peak metering. So here, as you can see, this little number is in green. If I have activated the true peak limiting option and I want to see the true peak of the sound, I need to activate this knob, or else I won't be able to see what exactly is the true peak of the sound. At last, we have the output tab, which is this little section that I talked a lot about before. So here we have some simple options. The first one is the DC offset. So when you activate it, it will take out the DC offset of the sound. The next one is the sidechain option. So this is useful when you are using the plugin to sidechain while stem mastering or mixing, and it helps you to trigger external sidechain options. Next is the unity gain option. So after limiting, when we increase the gain, we can actually hear that the sound is getting louder and louder. But what the unity gain helps you to do is it will help you listen to the effect of the plugin by not increasing the output gain. I'll just play the sound and let us just see what the effect sounds like. So as you can see, I am increasing the level and there is limiting taking place, but we are not actually hearing the loud signal, the added 24 decibels in our sound. So what unity gain helps us to do is it helps us in listening the effect of the limiting on our sample or sound. So that's simply how you can just see the changes after using the limiter without having to listen to the louder output. At last, we have this little headphone tab, which is for auditioning the signal which is being limited by the plugin. So if I activate it right now, we'll listen nothing because there is no signal which is getting limited by the plugin. But if I increase the gain, so we are only listening to the signal which is getting limited by the plugin. And if I just off this, we'll be listening to the entire track. So that's pretty much it with this plugin. It's an excellent plugin. You can use it on your buses and your master. While mastering, this is my go-to plugin. This is the last plugin that I use on my master chain. It's a really versatile plugin and this can be used on pretty much any sound, and I would definitely recommend it. And at last, I would like to say thank you for watching the video, and please like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you want more such content in future. And I'll see you in the next.